On this unbelievably quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to find your Lyft referral code on the Lyft Driver app. This is super easy to do. First thing, of course, open up the app and then click the upper left icon. This will open up your dashboard, then go to more ways to earn, then refer a driver, and boom, you can see your code right at the bottom of the screen. So I then suggest clicking share. At this point, depending on your phone, whether you have an iPhone, Android, etc., it will show you a bunch of different ways to share this. My best suggestion, and trust me on this, click the Notes app. That way you can kind of see the full script and, of course, the most important part, the link. So for me, for example, as you can see with my code, it's Mark 393309. I want to make sure that when I use my link to send to a person, post it in a YouTube video, post it on a blog, wherever I'm putting it, pretty much anywhere, is lyft.com/drivers/Mark 393309. The reason why I suggest pulling this up with the Notes app is you can copy the link directly without any of the script. Now, there's a couple huge pro tips I do want to say in terms of making the most amount of money with referral bonuses, and you can make a lot. Like, I'm very transparent on my videos. There are some times I make $800 for a referral. Sometimes it's only $350, which is still kind of crazy to say, like, oh, it's only $350. That's still a good amount of money. So you do want to do Lyft referral bonuses as much as you can. One, biggest pro tip of them all, make sure your code is correct. So my personal code, in terms of the code itself, is Mark 393309. Pretty lengthy, right? So the link itself is lyft.com/drivers/Mark 393309. If you're just one character off, like if I forget the 9 at the end of it or whatever, you might not get that bonus at all. Here's a perfect example where when I type in my code, like say on my browser, you can see, oh, sign up in LA or whatever. But if I miss one character, it just says, oh, sign up with Lyft. So you might not get that referral bonus. If you miss a character, make sure that everything is unbelievably correct. The second thing I'm gonna say is even though the landing page, as you can see when I showed you, was for LA, because that's where I live right now, you can refer anybody. The only difference, which has actually been a funny thing for me to see personally as I make all these videos and everything, is you can't refer somebody in another country. If you do, unfortunately, you don't get any credit, you don't get any money, you get nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so that is something to keep in mind. Again, probably not the biggest deal, but let's say you're here in America and you're gonna refer to somebody or referring somebody in Canada or in Toronto or whatever, you unfortunately don't get anything. Just want to say that as a side note. But remember, you can share to anybody in the country. Third thing, a big thing I suggest, and I did kind of briefly mention this, don't use the auto kind of paragraph. It pairs with the link. This is a problem that happened to one of my friends in Ohio. He was driving in Ohio and he's like, I saw the referral bonus is super high. I'm gonna text all my friends. He used that kind of the auto text feature on the share function on the Lyft Driver app. The problem was, every text he sent, the auto text was, hey, Joe Schmo, I'm not gonna say his name, but Joe Schmo recommended you to be a driver in Ohio. Click this link to be a driver in Ohio. And if you think about it, let's say if you live in Louisiana or Florida or Seattle or pretty much anywhere but Ohio, you might be like, what? I mean, one, I'm not in Ohio, but two, even if I was gonna drive, again, I'm not in Ohio, so like it doesn't really matter. And to a lot of people, maybe you don't know, because remember, your link works anywhere. But to the average person, they might not know that, and they might see that and be like, oh, well, I actually do kind of want to drive, and I do want to sign up, and I do want to use their link to help them out. It's kind of like a trade, right? I'm not in Ohio, so I don't think this is going to work. So make sure you remove that. You can even customize it if you want. Like say if you're texting a friend in Texas, for example, you can kind of do that if you want, but I think it's best just to text them on a more, if you are going to be texting them, do it on a more personal level or whatever. And that leads me to the fourth point, and that is share your code everywhere and be very honest and transparent. You know, whether you make YouTube videos like me, whether you do blog posts, whether you do anything on social media like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, if let's say you also just want to text people, like I mentioned directly, however you want to do it, I do suggest being very personal and be very honest with it too. You know, I even remember there's a big thing back in the day, back in the glory days, I feel like, of Uber and Lyft. In 2015, Lyft was doing a deal where if you referred somebody to be a driver, they would get $1,000 and you would get $1,000. It was ridiculous. It was like the glory days of Lyft, especially for the referral bonuses. And I remember one of my friends went on Facebook and he did pretty well, where he said, hey guys, let's be honest, $1,000 is an insane amount of money right now in terms of just being able to sign up and drive for a little bit. Let's work something out. Here's my link. You use my link. I get $1,000. You get $1,000. Like, this is an insane opportunity. I know it usually is a bit of a red flag when companies say, oh, it's a great opportunity, but it actually was a great opportunity for both people to make a ton of money. So share it everywhere and be very transparent, saying, hey, just letting you know, if you use my link, it's not like I get a bunch of money, which the referrer does, but as you, the referee, that's the word, getting that link and clicking the link, when they sign up, they also get a bonus. And I mentioned this before in other videos. My sign-on bonuses for both Uber and Lyft was a whopping nothing. I got no money because I literally just went to like Lyft.com and I signed up. That's how I personally signed up. Same thing with Uber. If I happened to click someone's link though, like in the glory days, I would have gotten potentially $1,000 for signing up and doing the beginning requirements. Remember, they do have to do a certain amount of requirements. This is also something you can bring up to them saying, hey, just letting you know, and it depends on the area, by the way, it depends on the area. But you can say, hey, just letting you know, in the first 30 days, you have to do, and again, it depends, 60 rides, 70 rides, sometimes 100, 120 rides. It really depends. If they don't do that amount of rides, and sometimes there is like an actual time cutoff, unfortunately, they will not get that bonus and you will not get that bonus. So I would definitely kind of let them know too. Lyft should let them know, but this is something you can let them know as well. But again, you can make a ton of money referring people to drive for Uber and Lyft. And especially too, like I said, if someone wants to sign up, why not get extra money for signing up? Like I said, I got zero money, which is still kind of bothers me, kind of stinks being like, oh, I signed up on Uber.com or Lyft.com and I made nothing. And meanwhile, the next week, I think it was, or whenever it was, they were like, hey, sign up with my code because you have to use someone's code and you get $1,000. And I'm like, great, I just missed out on $1,000. Probably the easiest $1,000 I could have ever made and missed out on it. So make sure you send that code, post it everywhere. It's a great way to make a lot of money. And it's a win-win because you can help other people make even more money initially right when they sign up.